Richard, is it proper to distinguish Christian theology from non-Christian theology by distinguishing what saved people believe versus what unsaved people believe?
Yeah, that's the way a lot of people would do it. They would say Christian theology is what Christians believe, and non-Christian theology is what non-Christians believe. I mean, that's pretty simple, and there's nothing evil about that definition. I don't think it's quite adequate. It might be better to say what Christian theology is what Christians ought to believe, because the fact is that the Christians believe lots of things that are not Christian. By that I mean they're not true to the Bible. And since that's our final judge, our highest standard, Christian theology is what Christians ought to believe. And we come close to that and we drift away from it, just sort of depending on what subject we're in and what part of the church we're in and who we are at any particular time in our lives. And also it's a little bit deceptive too when you realize that sometimes non-Christians have Christian theology. You know, the reality is that non-Christians could not live in this world without borrowing concepts that really belong to Christianity. It's what many theologians used to call borrowed capital, that they somehow, because of general revelation of God in all things, they know the truth, many truths about God, and they live on the basis of those. They work their lives out on those bases, even though they don't acknowledge it or maybe formulate it the way we do. So the sense is then that Christian theology would be that which we ought to believe. And then that then raises the question then on a sort of practical level, how do you distinguish between Christian and non-Christian theology? Because nobody believes everything they ought to believe. There you go. And see, that's the problem. And that's why in this lesson I talk in terms of closer and further away. It's not as if you're in or out. Where that line is exactly, I don't know, but you're not in or out particularly. It's more, we're closer to the truth and we're further away from the truth.